Truman, Griessel, Daniel, Herzog here with you. We apologize for the technical difficulties that we've been working through, especially these last few home games here of Beanballers Baseball. But let's catch you up, why don't you? Let's go on a little journey of tonight. When we last left you, it was 9-4 Beanballers, and the Dans were entering the bottom half of the third. Well, the Dans put 4 batters to the plate. They didn't score. Top of the fourth comes the Beanballers. They also send 4 to the plate. They don't score. Chase Weiss had a single. Then we go to the bottom of the fourth, and that's when the Dans struck. It was a leadoff hit by pitch by J.J. Basinger. Then Cannon Vanderveer singled. Jacob May walked to load the bases. Will Burke drove one home on a sacrifice fly, and then Nick Palmy hit one to left field that got under the glove of Brady Grabowski and allowed 2 runs to score. So the Dans put up 3 in the bottom of the fourth. Top of the fifth, Beanballers here in Danville. Theron Wiseman took over on the mound for the here in Danville. Theron Wiseman took over on the mound for the starter, Luke Bonstetter, in the bottom of the fifth. He worked a 1-2-3 inning. He now gets 9-1-2. Cannon Vanderveer, Jacob May, and Will Burke. And, well, Daniel, we've been here for the whole ride. And these fans, well, they're hoping that the Beanballers can get it done.
Yeah, certainly not what the fans here at Danville Stadium are hoping, but Gabe Arroyo and with May, Burke, and Palmy out last season with Milliken. His bat is starting to come around with the Beanballers.
Backing Vanderveer off the plate. It's a fastball from Wiseman. Hitting Vanderveer off the plate. It's a fastball from Wiseman. Hitters count 2 balls.
You just had a clean inning. First 1-2-3 inning for anyone today. And you just wanted to keep this momentum going. Your offense just put up 2 runs, but you want to start and just keep going and getting outs.
That last pitch was actually fouled off from Vanderveer on a check swing, and he swings fully through this pitch, so it's 2-2, fouls it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the sixth here in Danville. 11-7 your Beanballers lead. 11 runs. 11 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors for Decatur. 7 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors for Danville. As Vanderveer stays alive, fouls a pitch off first base side. Vanderveer is an Avon, Indiana native. And in high school, he led Avon High School to a state championship appearance before ultimately falling short. Wiseman out of the windup. The 2-2. Fastball up the ladder. Vanderveer swings through it. And it's a strikeout to start the sixth.
Yeah, this is a really good job from Wiseman. Not just to get the punch out, but to, before that, get back into the count, get him into a 2-strike count, and then gas him up. He had fouled off a pitch, so elevated just a little bit more, and Vanderveer can't quite get up to that fastball. Now you got the first out before you have to deal with May, Burke, and possibly Palmy as well.
Jacob May has yet to take the bat off his shoulders. He's walked 3 times and scored 3 runs. Looks a 9-8 victory for Danville, but 3 walks tonight. Curveball, he ducks out of the way of. May has been an exceptional hitter here at Danville Stadium. 8 for 14 at home. Granted, still a relatively small sample size, but he can mash. 2-2, curveball up, full count. Wiseman started to walk off the mound like it was strike 3. Now at over a 500 clip. His on-base percentage now up to over 500. And for those that are new to baseball, that means for every basically out of 10 at-bats, he reaches base 5 times, which if you can get that out of your leadoff hitter, that is fantastic. But John Toney's out to talk to Wiseman. It was the walks that killed him in his first appearance against Cape. He had 6 walks and yielded just 1 hit against the league-leading Catfish.
That's good for Tony to give him a little pep talk, especially before a guy like Burke, who has a pair of hits, has drove in a pair of runs, also has plenty of pop in his bat. 2 homers, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 11 doubles, and now 4 triples after his second inning RBI triple. But May runs well, Burke swings it well, so you really got to be careful.
Tony back to the dugout. The count is 1-0 on Burke, who's got 2 hits today and 2 RBIs. The 1-0. Just off the plate, 2-0. Burke's tripled and singled today. He's now got 45 hits on the summer. And he's got 22 RBIs. The 2-0. Late swing. Fouls it straight back into the chain link fence. 2-1. Burke had no RBIs his last 2 games before having 12 the previous 7. So he's back to being a run contributor. He's also now hit safely in 9 of his last 10 games and has 20 hits over that span. The 2-1 from Wiseman. Pitch fouled back. 2-2.
Yeah, and both Burke and May took the Beanballers deep last time, so Decatur wants to be careful with both of them, but because May has drawn 4 walks today, you can't be too careful with Burke, and a few mistakes, a few base hits. So it tries to field it on the glove side, but can't quite make the play as it hops over his glove. If he was in front of that, that would maybe get him in the body, but he would still make the play. Possibly could have gotten at least 1 out on the play. Instead, nobody out, and now runners on first and second.
We're actually going to score that as an E5, so the second E5 of the night from Chase Weiss. 2 on, 1 out. First pitch to Nick Palmy's upstairs.
Them and balls have just squirted over or under his glove.
The 1-0 to Palmy, upstairs 2-0. He drove in a run with a base hit to left field back in the 4th. He's also walked and scored and flied out with his 3 trips to the plate. First time facing the lefty Wiseman, though. Hitters count. A 2-0 from Wiseman. Curveball upstairs, 3 balls and no strikes. Carson Brady on deck. Caden Davis up in the Decatur bullpen, starting to stretch and toss.
But you hope to at least get another out on that play, but instead the bases are now juiced with Brady to the plate. And fortunately, you didn't really get much help from your infield. Weiss missed the ball he probably could have made a play on, but you're going to leave the bases loaded as it might. Free passes, and you mentioned that he has a high walk rate, does Davis. Free passes, and you mentioned that he has a high walk rate, does Davis. You got to be careful because you have nowhere to put anyone. You got the bases.
That for Danville. 11-7 they trail with a tying run to the plate in the form of Carson Brady. Jacob Mays on third, he walked. Will Burks on second, he reached on an error. And Nick Palmy's on first after working a walk. Cannon Vanderveer led off the inning, striking out against Theron Wiseman. But here is Brady. The first pitch from Davis is high and away. Ball 1. It's Brady. The first pitch from Davis is high and away. Ball 1. Brady's one.
Ends up with a win, ball 1. Sometimes ends up with a win, ball 1. Sometimes ends up with a walk, ends up with runs, ends up with a loss. So you got to be careful here.
A 2-0's in the dirt. Now 3 balls and no strikes, and now Davis risking walking in a run. Nicholas Saddam on deck. Brady has added to his RBI total, now 24 on the year. He also extended his hitting streak to 12 games. The 3-0 takes a fastball all the way for strike 1. And 8 ballers. Both runners take off. The throw to third from Reynolds. Not in time. Will Burke steals third. Palmy to second.
Yeah, this is just a really good jump that both runners got on Davis. It was a lot more stolen on the pitcher than it was on the catcher. Reynolds gave it a good throw, but Weiss wasn't quite quick enough with the tag. Didn't really have much of a chance, though, either way. And now runners on second and third. You only have a force at first.
2 runners in scoring position. Saddam does represent the tying run. He has not left the yard yet this season. Does have 3 runs batted in, though. Davis from the middle of the rubber, the 0-1. Curveball upstairs, 1-1. For Carson Brady, it's his 3rd RBI of the night on that sacrifice fly. He's now got 25 here in 2026 with Danville. The 1-1. Reaches out, pokes it off the end of the bat. Tough play, Jackson Snitko. He can't get it out of his glove. 2 runners are going to try to score. And thankfully, Snitko regains his composure, throws to Reynolds and gun. We finally made it to the back third of this one between your Decatur Beanballers and the Danville Dans. And your Beanballers still in front, 11-9. But after Danville gets 2 runs in their half of the 6th, but a heads-up play from Jackson Snitko as a dribbler off the bat of Nicholas Saddam. Snitko couldn't get it out of his glove, and Saddam would have been safe anyway. Caden Davis late covering first. But Nick Palmy tried to score from second base, and Snitko threw a dime to Gage Reynolds to gun him down to retire the side. But work to be done for Decatur. Their lead back to just 2.
Yeah, it was something that was really Beanballers-esque. That's a phrase we've been throwing around.
Austin Penry still on the mound. He gave up 2 runs last inning off the bat of Gage Reynolds. First time facing Abbey. First pitch is low, ball 1. Abernathy had a seeing eye single through the right side, his first hit.
Yeah, it's just punch, counter punch. And if the Beanballers can counter punch here, plate discipline has really improved so far this year, and his contact has been as strong as ever throughout. But it's really those pitches up in the zone, a fastball just above, doesn't chase it, doesn't extend the zone, and that's something that he often puts contact on, but he can't put a good swing on it, and usually results in an out. Nonetheless, he holds up on it, and he's on with a walk to lead off this inning, and that'll do it.
Cameron. Caleb Tompkins is the 5th pitcher of the night for the Danville Dans, the right-handed arm out of Dallas. Danville Dans, the right-handed arm out of Dallas, Texas, representing Prairie View A&M University. 6'4", 178 pounds. He makes his 3rd appearance, 2nd out of the bullpen. He's 1-0 with a 9 ERA across 5 innings, and now he comes in here in the 7th, trying to shake off his last performance. He pitched Saturday.
Danville, and if you're Decatur, you just want to keep going. You got 2. The bats have reawoken after there was a little stretch where Decatur couldn't push any runs across. They've gotten back alive. It's 2-3-4 due up, a dangerous part of the order. Brandon Abernathy on the base paths already. A head start towards a run this inning, and insurance at this point is much, much appreciated if you're the Beanballers.
Applegate has not had a hit yet today, but he has walked twice. Left on right matchup against Tompkins. Abernathy on first drew the 4-pitch walk to begin the 7th. First pitch from the righty, Tompkins. Fastball buzzes in there at the belt for strike 1. Applegate struck out swinging his last time up in the 5th. Trolls his bat a couple of times. Left-handed hitter. Slightly open stance. Next pitch from Tompkins. Swing and a miss from Applegate. 0-2. Applegate trying to make it 3 straight games with a hit. He's had 2 hits in each of the last 2 games, both against the Aviators. This is his first time facing Danville. The 0-2. Off the outer part of the plate. Stays alive, 1-2.
That's a really good location. Fastball just off the plate, but as good, if not better, of Applegate to wait on it and watch it for ball 1. Plate discipline has been really, really strong for the Beanballers today.
Abernathy a short lead off first. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Blew the fastball by him, and Applegate's down on strikes.
Yeah, just couldn't quite catch up to the fastball. 1-2, you're expecting him to throw something soft at some point, but no, it's back to the old trusty. He just blows a fastball by him for out number 1.
Tompkins has had 2 strikeouts in each of his first 2 appearances.
But we haven't really needed to. He's gotten ahead in counts. He's gotten a strikeout of Applegate. You got to catch up to the heat if you're the Beanballers.
Don't want to waste a leadoff walk in the late inning of this close game. A 1-0. Late on a fastball, 1-1.
Yeah, to your point.
Snitko still trying to break out of this slump that he's been in. He's now just 6 for his last 39, his last 11 games since his 6-game hitting streak ended. He's still hitting .280. Hitters and struck out 2 hitters.
This is a really good location. This is maybe something that has been called a ball a few times tonight, but it's just too close to take. You can't really blame the umpire if he's been somewhat consistent with it. And nonetheless, it's just too close to take. You got to get a good swing on it, even if it's not your pitch. If you're Snitko, you're looking for something middle in, but you got to protect the plate.
With 2 outs, still a man at first, Jackson Miller. 1 for 4 tonight with a 2-run homer. First pitch from Tompkins. Popped up third base side, but it'll get out of play, 0-1.
Yeah, with the way Tompkins has been thrown tonight, I'm not surprised, to say the least, that he goes first pitch fastball, but I'm not surprised, to say the least, that Miller greets him with a healthy hack at it. He hit a homer off of MacArthur, a fastball on the first pitch he saw. It's been a lot of soft stuff since, so now that you're seeing fastballs, you're looking to hunt.
The 0-1. Upstairs, 1-1. He's surprised Abernathy hasn't tried to steal yet. I know the Beanballers made a lot of outs on the bases this season, but just to try to shake up the rhythm of Tompkins.
A little surprised, especially because the throws from Basinger, pitches that might have been either touching the zone or just outside, that he has called for balls, but for the most part, that outside part of the plate to lefties has been called for a strike. So now you're in the hole 1-2, Miller, you got to protect.
Open stance from the lefty. A 1-2 offering. Fastball up the ladder, swings through it, strike 3. 3 batters, 3 strikeouts out of the bullpen for Caleb Tompkins. And it's time to stretch finally here in Danville, though we've been out of our seat plenty. We're headed to the bottom of the 7th, 11-9 Ballers. Six, 7, 8 due up for Danville, trailing by just 2 runs. 11-9 they trail here on the home half of the 7th. Caden Davis back out of the bullpen. He allowed 2 runs to score that he inherited last inning, but he got the final 2 outs. He kept the lead intact, and it's the closest that the Dans have been since it was 4-4 after the 2nd inning. The Dans struck first. They led 3-0 after 1. But 4 in the 2nd from Decatur and then 5 in the 3rd It was quickly 9-4. And the Dans have been chasing that ever since. They got as close as 9-7, then both teams put up 2 in the 6th. So it's 11-9. McReynolds, Bays, and Basinger against Caden Davis, trying to make quick work of the Dans here in the 7th.
Yeah, if you're Davis, although Wiseman left all of them on, he at least got through the difficult part of the order. May, Burke, and Palmy at the top. Now you got 6, 7, 8. Let's see if you can work a quick inning and put a 0 up.
Out of the windup, misses his first pitch up to McReynolds.
And he did a really good job. He came in bases loaded, only 1 out, got a sack.
2 games. Out in front, lifts the ball, left field. Grabowski's back. He's onto the warning track right in front of the wall and slamming into the wall. Brady Grabowski makes the grab.
Yeah, Truman, we saw the first game we played here, the first game really from batting practice on and batting practice today. The ball carries well here, and especially to the corners. It's a relatively short porch. This is a ball that McReynolds goes the other way on full extension, and Grabowski never fully gets to it, but he reaches up with those long arms and makes the catch for out number 1.
First pitch hammered deep left field by Chase Bays. Grabowski won't get this one. It's out of here, and the lead just to 1. Chase Bays leaves the yard for the first time this summer. And it's now 11-10 Decatur.
And he didn't just do that. This one cleared the fence by a good 25 feet.
The first hit of the night for Chase Bays extends his hitting streak now to 7 games. And just like that, the Danville Dans fans are right back in it. A 1-0. Fouled off, 1-1. Basinger's 0 for 2. He got hit by a pitch back in the 4th and eventually came around to score. Davis out of the windup. The lefty fires. In the dirt, 2-1. A 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3 balls and a strike. Don't want to walk the tying run on base. Cannon Vanderveer in the bottom of the lineup on deck.
Yeah, it was a pitch right over the middle of the plate, so now he's trying to stay away to Basinger, but he's not swinging at it.
3-1. Basinger swings but fouls it straight back and out of the stadium. Count has gone full. Basinger himself, he does have 3 home runs this season. His most recent came July the 3rd when he had a 2 home run performance and 4 RBIs against the Lafayette Aviators in an 18-10 win. Payoff pitch, popped up, first base side, over by the Beanballers dugout. Gage Reynolds looks up but watches it as it rolls off the netting.
Yeah, these last 2 pitches to Basinger have been really good. They've been fastballs in on the hands, but certainly strikes. But now you're going to ask Davis to find the zone again. Give him something competitive. Maybe raise the ladder just a little bit more on the fastball. Not too much because you don't have any balls to work with, but it's got to be something competitive.
The 7th pitch, fouled straight back. That was a fastball middle that Basinger just missed.
Yeah, definitely want it to be a little further up in the zone. I know you don't want to walk him, but you also don't want to give up another blast. You already gave up 1, and that insurance run is gone.
Still 3-2. 1 out in the inning, 1 already home. The payoff pitch. Popped up. Into foul territory, first base side. Snitko's got room, but he drops the ball. Off his glove, backpedaling. Can't make the grab. New life for Basinger.
Yeah, this is really tough. I don't really know how one would practice this, but it seems like a lot of times when there's foul balls, especially along the infield, third base side, first base side, and foul ground, the Beanballers often overrun their route and can't quite get back to the spot. Same is true there. That's several times in the last few games that's happened.
The 10th pitch is popped up. Back behind the plate, but out of the stadium. Well, and Snitko's a guy that's played the outfield this year, and Gage Reynolds, his catcher, got over the chain link fence, told him he had room, and Snitko.
I think it is still further towards the fence, and instead it was back towards the infield for Snitko. He couldn't quite range back. He got glove on it, but dropped it. That's a big out.
Davis delivers. Grounded foul. We'll have a 13th pitch in this battle. Kane Davis has thrown everything but the kitchen sink at him. He's got to dig deep.
Yeah, that last pitch was a curveball after a slew of fastballs fouled off down the first base side. This one, Basinger's way out in front of him, grounds it towards his dugout. Sends the Dan scurrying.
Unlucky 13 is inside. And the 13-pitch battle goes the way of J.J. Basinger, and the tying run is now aboard on a walk.
We've talked about it several times tonight. Davis does offer a different look as a lefty, but overall for him, he just doesn't quite have the velocity for strikeout stuff, can't quite beat him with a fastball. And at some point, you can't find the zone every single time, and now we got another run on board. It's the tying run on first and the winning run, or the go-ahead run to the plate.
Mir Streeter pinch hitting for Cannon Vandeveer. He takes the first pitch outside, ball one. Streeter comes into this hitting .231, 25 hits and 108 at-bats. Lithonia, Georgia native. Represents what would be the go-ahead run. A 1-0. Swing and a miss from Streeter, 1-1.
A good pitch to get back in this at-bat, but you really wish you could have had that out with Basinger, because then you could get Streeter here. Instead, you might have to deal with May, possibly Burke, possibly Palmy.
A 1-1 from Davis outside, 2 balls and a strike. Streeter comes in struggling, 3 for his last 15 over his last 6 games. He struck out 6 times. Hitting just .200 here in the month of July. The 2-1. Curveball waved over the top of 2-2. Five of Streeter's 25 hits have gone for extra bases. They're all doubles. He has
full of May, Burke, Palmy, and possibly all 3 of them.
It's a left-on-left matchup. Davis against the lefty May, who's worked 4 walks and scored 4 runs. First pitch, fastball low and away, 1-0. Baron Odom now up and throwing in the Beanballers bullpen. Not the last pitcher Decatur has that traveled with him here to Danville. The 1-0. May swings away, pops it up, third base side. Weiss gives it a look, but it's backing out of play. Beanballers need 8 outs to close out this victory. Trying to protect a 1-run lead. J.J. Basinger at second. He represents the tying run. Amir Streeter at first represents the go-ahead run. Pitch from Davis. Misses the inside corner, 2-1.
Yeah, that's not a bad location. Just couldn't quite get it. But try to stay low in the zone. If you can get May.
Now's a chance to possibly tie it or do more damage. The 2-1. Upstairs. 3 balls and a strike. It's never easy for Decatur. No such thing as a comfortable win. It's always the first one to 27 outs. The 3-1 pitch. May swings, launches one, deep right field, and it's out of here. The San Diego man does it again against Decatur. And for the first time since the first inning, the Dans now lead 13-11.
Yeah, you talked about it, Truman. The Beanballers' bats have certainly done plenty today. Runs came at a premium in the first 3 games in this series, but not in Game 4, and certainly not today in Game 5. And this one's just absolutely blasted by May. He doesn't quite know it out of the box. Starts jogging and then starts sprinting, but clears the right field wall by plenty, and now the Beanballers find themselves in a hole.
It's May's third home run. Now got 12 RBIs. It's also his second homer, and he's got 6 RBIs against Decatur. First pitch is upstairs to Will Burke.
Yeah, and he's only played in 2 of the 5 games so far this season series, too.
4 runs in the inning, 2 homers off Caden Davis. Fastball low, 2-0 to Burke. Burke himself, 2 RBIs, 2 hits, 2 runs scored. And for the cherry on top, he also stole a base his last time up. The 2-0, hardy hack, but fouls it straight back into the netting. And the Dans continue. Bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th. It's a runner at second, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, and Danville already 4 runs home in the inning and now reclaim a 13-11 lead. This is right where it is because the Dans have scored 6 unanswered runs. And now the bats.
25 walks, only struck out 16. You're going to need to find outs.
The 25 walks is the most on the team. His first pitch to Nick Palmy is low for ball 1. It was a flyout to start this inning. Then Chase Bays went deep. Then back-to-back walks to J.J. Basinger and Amir Streeter before Jacob May hit the go-ahead 3-run homer. A 1-0 from Odom. Palmy swings away, fouls it off. Then Caden Davis' last batter he faces Will Burke, who stands at second on his 3rd hit of the night, a double. If he can get one more chance, he would be a home run away from a cycle. The 1-1 to Palmy, way up and away. 2-1. Palmy just 1 hit tonight. I did drive in a run back in the 4th. He's also walked twice. Trying to add some insurance here for Danville in this high-scoring affair. The 2-1 pitch. Palmy lines one to center field, and it's going to fall in front of Brandon Abernathy. Coming home is Will Burke. He'll score easily. 5 home in the inning for Danville, now 14-11.
Yeah, there have been no shortage of runs for either team today, no shortage of hits. And Palmy just fully extends. This pitch is down and away, but he gets enough of it, lofts it into center field. And although Burke got a quick break, he had to stop around third and thought Abernathy might have a chance, didn't have it. Now it's 14-11.
Slider catches the outside corner for strike 1 to Carson Brady. Beanballers only have 2 wins this season when they've given up a homer. Granted, one of those came Sunday against the Aviators. They gave up 3 home runs, but they held on to win. A 1-1 from Odom. Below the knees, 2 balls and a strike. Sunday was also Decatur's first multi-run comeback victory this season. They trailed by 6. That's the second time today they've trailed by 3. The 2-1 fouled off by Brady as Palmy was stealing second. Yeah. So he'll head back, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, Decatur's certainly capable of scoring runs in bunches. They've hung 4 zeros on the board and only scored in 3 innings, but they scored 9 runs combined in innings 2 and 3, so they're certainly capable, but they got to get outs in the field. They got to have their arms get outs. You talk about how thin the pitching is right now already for Decatur.
2-2, breaking ball laid off by Brady, full count. With Nicholas Saddam standing on deck. Brady's the 8th hitter to come to this inning, still 1 out. The payoff pitch, Palmy to second, popped in the air. Third base side, but it's going to get out of play, and we'll do it again.
And it's just not finding out number 3. And moreover, not finding strike 3. There have been several 2-strike counts that you can't find strike 3. You give up walks, you give up hits, you give up runs, and Decatur's given up the lead because of it.
Decatur, the second least amount of strikeouts in the Prospect League. Another payoff pitch, golfed, deep left field. Grabaski's back to the track, and it's out of here. The third home run of the inning comes off the bat of Carson Brady. It's a 7 spot in the 7th, and now 16-11 Dans as they are slugging their way to possibly win number 23.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad location from Odom. This is a pitch low in the zone, but Brady just goes down and gets under it, and he blasts it out to left field. Absolutely tattooed. A few of them earlier in this season series, you don't quite know if they're gone. Wall scrapers. This one was anything but a wall scraper. I think everyone in the ballpark knew that was gone off the bat.
Third homer of the inning. The first pitch below the zone to Nicholas Saddam, who's the 9th hitter in the inning. It's a 2-hit day for Carson Brady. He's now driven in 5 runs on his 11th multi-hit game of the year, and he's broken out of a 3-for-16 slump. Fastball misses 2-0. A lot of work to be done. The largest lead that Danville has had, with the Beanballers down to their final 6 outs. The 2-0. Saddam swings, pops it in the air, first base side. Snitko runs over to the fence, but it's just down to play on the other side.
Yeah, and you still need to find out number 2 before you can find out number 3, and it's been a struggle for Decatur. The last 7 guys have reached. You go back to that at-bat where Basinger, the first of back-to-back walks that both scored on the home run from May, pops one up foul ground. Snitko can't catch it, and they haven't found an out since.
Another ball popped in the air, this time on the infield, playable, and it lands in the glove of Will Applegate. There is out number 2. But now the Dans have batted around. Mason McReynolds for the 2nd time this inning, but he's the 2nd pitcher he is facing. He flied out to left against Caden Davis before all heck broke loose for the Dans. First pitch from Odom. Backs McReynolds off the plate. He has to dance out of the way. 1-0. McReynolds is 1 for 4 tonight. But it hasn't mattered. The Dans 16 runs on 12 hits.
Thinner and thinner for Decatur.
Hitters count 2-0. Takes a fastball on the outside corner, strike 1. Decatur led by 5 themselves at one point. It was 9-4 after 2.5 innings. They then led 11-7, but it's been 9 unanswered runs by the Dans. Fastball upstairs, 3-1, with Chase Bays, who started this inning with a homer, on deck.
But we've seen Decatur put up 5 in an inning today.
First pitch is low to Chase Bays. He had been hitless before he crushed a home run to begin. This inning. Out. Odom's 1-1. Late on a fastball. Fouls it off first base side, 1-2. Bays, who'd come in here scorching in July, hitting .435, adds to it. The 1-2 from Odom. In the dirt. Gloved by Reynolds, trying to make it to second base is Saddam. It's McReynolds, and he will, as it just bounced too far away from Gage Reynolds, who tried to backhand it.
Yeah, it was just a pitch in the dirt that Reynolds gets in front of and does a good job of keeping it in front. It just puts it too far in front of him, and you now have to deal with another runner in score. Yeah, again, you just got to find that out. It's now several walks in the inning, and Bays has reached twice. You got 2 guys on. You got another guy at the plate who's already walked once today. Walked once in this inning, that is. So you just got to find that third out.
Now the first pitch to Basinger gets all the way to the backstop. McReynolds to third, Bays to second. 2 more runners in scoring position. To Basinger, who has reached base twice. He's been hit by a pitch and also walked, but both those times he came around to score. So he's still hitless tonight. Everyone in the Dan's lineup has reached base at least once. The 1-0. Skied in the air, down the right field line, but it's going to tail foul. Ball and a strike.
Decatur hasn't lost a game in which they scored 10 or more runs, but it hasn't won a game in which it allowed 10 or more runs, so something has to give tonight.
Line down the third baseline, fair. 2 more runs are going to score. J.J. Basinger ends up at second. It's now 18-11 and 9 runs here in the 7th.
Yeah, it's just a pitch he turns and burns on. It's not necessarily the worst location, but a little too far up in the zone, and Basinger drives in 2 more, ends up on second. And now the Dans are 3 runs away from ending this ballgame.
It's Basinger's first double of the summer and his 17th and 18th RBIs, and it brings back an Amir Strader, who he pinch hit for Cannon Vandeveer earlier this inning. He now makes his second plate appearance as he walked and scored on the Jacob May 3-run homer. First pitch fastball is inside, ball 1. Now you might be talking, if you're Danville, of possibly ending this game early. You can get 3 runs before 1 out. Streeter swings, fouls one off first base side.
Or even if you can just end up net +3 across these end of this 7th and across the 8th, you could still end it early.
18-11.
Would be kind of wild if they run rule Decatur in an inning they started trailing in.
The 1-1, slider off the plate, 2-1. They came into this inning down 11-9. They've now put up as many runs as they had the first 6 innings here in the 7th. Two-one to Streeter. He takes up 3 balls and a strike, and Jacob May on deck, and if Streeter walks, May could end it with 1 swing. Odom spins, checks over at second, but Basinger, he's back in time.
And Truman, I need to correct myself. The Beanballers actually have won a game in which they gave up double-digit runs. That was last Sunday, the last game for Decatur. It was 11-10. Beanballers won. So this is now first time Decatur scored double figures in back-to-back games.
3-1's outside, ball 4. So now the game-winning run comes to the plate in the form of Jacob May as Amir Streeter takes his second walk of the inning. Yeah, it was a thrilling 11-10 victory Sunday. And it seemed like they were going to be well on their way to another victory here tonight, but if anything, you can't turn the TV off, or in this case, turn YouTube off, turn our voices off early. But it's certainly fastball outside from Odin 2-0. And if he can hit his second homer of the inning, his second 3-run homer of the inning, he would end in the Decatur bullpen. 3-0. May takes all the way, and he takes a strike. Everyone in the Danville order has scored this inning except Nicholas Sadam. He must feel pretty lonely on the end of the bench.
Yeah, he's also the only one who hasn't reached base.
The 3-1. Outside, ball 4. Third walk. Has loaded the bases, and that'll do it for Baron Odom.
Just a frustrating outing. You follow up Davis, who really didn't have much feel in this inning, and you yourself just can't find the zone. There's when you do get bounced around, it's got to be a really frustrating thing. But it's just so difficult. And the Beanballers, sure, they got plenty of runs, plenty of hits, and at one point it did seem like, hey, maybe a 5-run lead is something they can take the rest of the way, but just you bring in 4 arms, and that's really all you have to work with before you need to turn to position players. At some point, especially the way the Dans have been scoring of late, at some point, water's going to find its level, and it certainly has, and then some.
Well, I mean, you mentioned it. Again, we brought it up in the open of the broadcast. They only had 4 real pitchers that were eligible tonight. Manuel Toro, Raul Gil are also here, but they are not able to pitch today. And it's just been that thing of you've got 3 weeks left in this season. And if you're those 4 pitchers, I feel like you'd want the ball. Hey, give me the ball, coach. You know, there's no one in front of me. Give me the ball. And you just haven't had that killer mentality, as they like to say in sports. And I mean, you start. Luke Bonstetter, he labored through 4 innings, but he gave you a chance to win. Yeah, you walked 4, and unfortunately, don't want 4 walks, but he labored. He escaped some jams. He made it farther than you thought he would have after giving up a 3-run first. But then, again, you don't say never until either the fat lady sings or, unfortunately, you've lost the game via 9 innings or who has doubled and scored in this inning. And, well, the game-winning run is on first, so another double could possibly end it for Danville.
Yeah, you just got to keep the ball in the yard. Find that 3rd out by any means necessary, and there's really no pressure. If you give up a bad pitch, Burke puts a good swing on it, he can end it with 1 swing, but, you know, that's not on you. Your team has put you in a situation where
hit a sac fly, reached on an air, and doubled. So 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs scored. And he's a home run away from the cycle. 1-1, late on a fastball, 1-2.
What is interesting, however, Truman, is that you said that earlier this inning, and at that point, the score was 13-11. The Dans have now scored 5 runs, and Burke is back up to the plate.
Novominski out of the line. The 1-2. Fastball laced down the right field line, but well fouling out of the stadium.
He's really letting it eat on the mound.
I mean, that's what you got to do. Like, why be picky? Throw it over the plate. See what happens. Sorry to be frustrated up here in the booth as I'm not on the field, but it's just been frustrating. 1-2 fastballs off the plate. 2-2 now. It's just been that. Decatur tonight, from their 4 pitchers, have walked 12 and hit 1. And struck out 3. 2-2 fastball inside, full count. Runners will be off on the pitch.
That just goes to show you that 12 walks, 13 hits, but it's been a lot of walks and then the big hit to bring in the runs.
The payoff pitch, upstairs, ball 4. Novominski walks in a run. Burke drives in his 3rd, and now the game-winning run at second base. So now with a chance to end it, Nick Palmy. He already has an RBI single tonight. He's got 2 of them. And a lot of fastballs from Novominski. He says he has a changeup and a slider, but doubt we'll see it. The 0-2 pitches in the dirt, but blocked by Gage Reynolds. Ball and 2 strikes. Decatur back home tomorrow. They'll take on the Lafayette Aviators for the final time this season. Both teams have won 3 games in the first 6. The 1-2's hit in the air, shallow left. Fabriette's out. He calls for it, and he drops it. 2 runs score, and that'll do it. Kind of a fitting end of the night, if you have to say. Nick Palmy, the hero. It's a 12-run 7th inning. And the Beanballers came in up 11-9, and it ends with a 10-run mercy rule. Partner, I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't have much either. It's just got to be a tough one to stomach. You know, you come into this one with only 4 pitchers. It's only a matter of time before the way offenses score in this prospect league, before you need to go to position players or before things get out of hand and they really out of hand from a pitching standpoint from the jump, but especially to close things out, they were, and it's just really a tough one to swallow.
For those keeping score at home, they will give Nick Palmy a single. So he ends the night with 3 hits and 5 RBIs. But for Decatur, it's, I believe I said, unfortunately, we had technical difficulties last Friday against Springfield, and I had said that was the most gut-punching, heart-wrenching loss of the year. Well, I'm going to eat my words. This tops it. And I said, Daniel, I don't got words. I don't know what to say at this point. I mean, we're broadcasters, so I don't think we can say anything. Move on to tomorrow, but even then, it's a very, as you can hear from the tone of my voice, you got to move on to tomorrow.
Yeah, it's sort of an ugly beauty. It's a paradox. You play again tomorrow, and you just have to swallow it. You have to go back home, and we've seen this team win by 20 runs and then lose the next day. We've seen them lose and then win by 20 runs the next day, and it just, it's a little sad to see. This is a game against a team where first time you guys played, it was a 1-run game. The next time it was a 1-run game. Then it was a 2-run game, and then the last time it was a 1-run game. There have been multiple.
Back at it tomorrow, Workman Family Baseball Field. The last time the Beanballers will be home for 4 games. They just have 5 home games left. So you listeners out there, if you haven't made it to a game yet, make sure you make it to a home game at Workman Family Baseball Field. Thursday, we'll be back here on YouTube, hopefully with less technical difficulties. We'll be down in Marion, Illinois for the second time against the Thrillvillies. Haven't seen them since May. We'll try what was that word again one final time?
Antepenultimate.
Antepenultimate game of the week. The O'Fallon Hoots, the red-hot O'Fallon Hoots, will be back in town for the final Sunday home game of the year. But, Daniel, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to express? It's not Festivus time, but if you have any grievances to air, this is your platform to do it. Obviously, stay within FCC regulations.
Yeah, it's just a tough loss. There's always tomorrow. And you've seen some crazy things happen this year. That was probably the craziest, to get walked off, run ruled in an inning that you entered leading the game. But it's just a tough one to swallow, and hey, that's life.
Hey, that's life. We'll go out on that. So for my broadcast partner, Daniel Herzog, I've been Truman Griessel one final time here from Danville Stadium in Danville, Illinois. Well, we will be here 2 more times come the final week of the year. Your Beanballers fall 21-11 in 7 innings. Caleb Tompkins gets his second win on the season, and Caden Davis takes his first loss. But we'll be back.